Growing up as a child, I didn't really play that many horror games, partly because I only had a PlayStation 2 for most of my life where I would play nothing but Star Wars Battlefront 2, but the other part was because you couldn't catch me dead playing a horror game due to my scaredy ass not even wanting to open up the cases for it. But through watching YouTube and other people get scared instead of me, I saw a horror game that I absolutely fell in love with almost 10 years ago. A game that once I obtained a PC, I immediately purchased so I can play it, that being Outlast. In short, I absolutely love Outlast. I think the first game alongside the Whistleblower DLC absolutely revolutionized the survival horror industry, with its key focus being that you aren't a fighter. You have absolutely nothing to protect yourself, and in turn, the only thing that you could do is run for your life and hide within the deepest, darkest pits of Mount Massive Asylum, with the only thing to assist you is the night vision camera that dies every 10 minutes. Everything, and I mean everything within Outlast was perfectly done. And also, in 2017, Outlast 2 came out as well, which was, it was a game, that's for sure. But after Outlast 2, we had to wait 5 more years to receive another green-scaled game, that being the Outlast Trials. And after playing this game for quite a few hours, this game might just be my new favorite Outlast game of the series. The Outlast Trials is a survival horror game that was released into early access on May 18th of 2023, and was made by the company who's made all of the previous Outlast games, Red Barrels. However, unlike all other Outlast games, this new one is a little bit different, and by little, I mean the entire core design of the game has changed because you now can survive up to 4 of your friends in one playthrough. That's right, in this 50s era game, you and your friends have to survive the psychopathic killers within the underground facility belonging to the psychopathic god complex company known as the Murkoff Corporation. According to the game's story, you started out as a simple nobody, a person who not even one soul in the world cares about. But one day, you see a flyer where you're told about all the riches of being loved and cared about, just like how any person should be treated. So going to where the advertisement says, you get kidnapped, transported to an unknown underground laboratory, drugged, and then mutilated by having night vision goggles be screwed onto your head. God, if that's not love and care, I don't even know what is. You are now the equivalent of a guinea pig to the Murkoff Corporation, someone who will be pushed to the absolute limit throughout all the gruesome trials you encounter. A reagent, you might call yourself. The objective for this game as a new reagent that you are is to survive, plain and simple. You and your friends start out with only one trial set in place, the police station. However, once you complete that, you move on to harder trials or go to a separate place to test your skills there. In total, there are 3 base maps, that being the police station, the carnival, and the orphanage. Each map includes 4 separate trials, which are around 20 to 50 minutes to complete depending on which challenge you're doing and how many people are in your party. Like I said though, each trial gets progressively harder, with traps and enemies becoming more abundant the more trials you beat, with the last trial of each map always being the final test. Once beating all trials and all final tests, you unlock the Protocol X area, which offers 10 totally different trials. Beating each of them gives you a release token, and once obtaining all 10 tokens, you can exchange them for your release. Already, just from the concept of what I guess you can call the missions in this game, it felt like at first there really wasn't much to experience in this early access game, but oh my god, even when I'm making this script right now, I haven't even gotten close to getting to the Protocol X areas. And you would think that because there's only 3 standard maps within this game, and each of them having 4 levels, there would be repetition or tediousness starting to linger, but you would be dead wrong. First off, take a look at these maps. Just take a look at them. Every single map in this game and every single section of the maps feels so unique, but also disorienting and also terrifying. This is because each area has the chance of it being lit up, so you and not so welcoming enemies know where they're going, or pitch black areas to the point where you have to bring out your trusty night vision goggles or else you will be stuck, lost, and killed. Or maybe even the area is a mix of lightness and darkness, with items being hidden in the most secretive areas. On top of that, the bodies of all your peers that were once like you, but met their untimely and gruesome demise is a rude awakening that signifies to you that these enemies will never spare you. And then there's the props that try to fuck with you. You know, the pipes bursting in your face, or the intentional electric spark from a light, or a naked guy that's strung up on a wall. I don't know why Red Barrels has an obsession with naked guys, but it is 2023, I guess. I can't judge. Within the actual trials, you have a set of missions to do. They usually relate to whatever map you are dealing with, so just going off the list of starting trials of each map. In the police station, you need to escort a Murkoff snitch to the electric chair before the warden in Leland Coil electrocutes you to death. In the carnival, you need to discipline those misbehaving children who are performing root canals on people by shoving them into a meat grinder, but you also get to play with carnival games, so that equals that out. And then for the orphanage's starting trial, you need to set the orphans on the path to God by changing their radio to the gospel, change the projector to show it's time for mass, cut a naked guy's legs off while he's crucified to the cross. Again, Red Barrels, what is with this obsession? While you're completing your tasks of the trials with your friends, you'll encounter dozens of enemies. These enemies can range from being docile enough until you come close, to someone that'll chase you down when looking eerily similar to you. All of these enemies are incredibly unique, but there are so many of them. So I'll only discuss those that are the most apparent or simply the most terrifying. To start things off, let's discuss the basic enemy, the regular grunt. These guys are your run-of-the-mill enemies. They have no special qualities and will impale you with whatever rusty pipe they found on the ground. Yeah, it's best you get your tetanus shots after that. You also have your big grunts who are completely blind. Instead of them trying to take you head on, they will instead blindly swing around hoping to hit you. They also have insane hearing, so even if you dare make a peep, you will be cornered and killed. You have the pouncer who will stay in certain hiding spots and will jump out at you when you get close. They're incredibly annoying, especially in tenseful situations, as you have to mash a button to get rid of them. They also do a shit ton of damage. There are enemies with night vision goggles permanently attached to them to let them see in the dark. Yup, because that's what night vision goggles do. Their weakness, however, is the light, as they cannot toggle off the night vision, so they'll be blinded within the light. There's the imposters from... No, I can't say the game's name. It's not 2020 anymore. I'm better than this. These enemies will look exactly like you or anyone you're teaming up with their names over top being scrambled slightly. Usually, if they catch you, they kind of just stab you and then fuck right off. You also have the Screamers, who screams. That's pretty self-explanatory. And those are just the regular enemies, the most common of the bunch. However, there are a few more prominent figures, the ones that are more attached to the map being played. They also will come out of the gray elevator doors as well, the ones that'll give you an alarm once it starts to open. To start it off, you have my man Leland Coil, the police cop guy who, between you and me, I think has a secret crush on the player.
This is my miracle stick. Well, one of my miracle sticks.
He's typically found in the police station because he's a cop, and you know, that's where cops are, and he wields the stun baton to both electrocute you and to pop the heads of his victims. You then have Mother Gooseberry, who is mainly found in the orphanage and the carnival trying to protect her corrupt children. She wields a puppet that really likes to do dental work, as if she tries to catch you, you'll soon have a saw in your mouth. There's also this really big guy that sometimes wields a hammer, who is also fucking naked. God damn it, Red Barrels. He typically chills out around the police station and the orphanage. However, he's not really a main focal point. He's usually just there at moments, and although he does pack quite a punch, he's stupid as stupid can all be. Finally, you have what I believe is the deadliest enemy of them all. An enemy that, although by himself he's not very strong, it's what he does to you could lead to your demise. Prescott Whitehorn. This guy is such a pain in the ass, I swear to you. So, this guy won't actually harm you if he catches you. Instead, he sprays you with a certain toxin. Once you get hit enough times with this toxin in general, you go into full psychosis, but once you get caught by Prescott, it's immediate. Full psychosis will cause you to see some very wavy patterns, which is extremely nauseating, but will also send this guy out. I kind of forgot his name while writing this, so we're just gonna call him Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones is a very deadly guy. He'll chase you non-stop the second you go into full psychosis, and even if he just brushes up against you, like a little bit of a touch by Mr. Bones, you'll start to lose health extremely quickly. So it's best to keep an antidote you find around the map to cure you of these madness, as Mr. Bones can quite literally make or break your trial run. Now, I have just said a mouthful. I've probably talked about 10 hard enemies to take on in this game, but would you believe me if I said that's not even half of the dangers you'll experience in this game? That's because the traps within the Outlast Trials are hidden so well at times, they can be so easily missed, which can cost your life. These traps can range anywhere from electric floors that can randomly go off, to landmines that emit gas when exploded, or rubber ducks that emits gas when exploded, and let's not forget about the door trap that impales you. and then emits gas when exploded. These traps get randomly spawned throughout the map, as well as doorways and entry points get blocked off in a randomly generated way each time you play the maps. Really, the best way to overcome them is to just learn from your mistakes. You see, the purpose of the trials is to become the greatest test patient for the Murkoff employees, to become greater than any man as their everyday struggles hold them back and make them weak. After every trial you complete, you'll receive a grade for how you did. This grade reflects off of every single thing that happened to you during the trial, so you best be attentive for that. Once you learn the maps and understand the pathfinding from the patrolling enemies, and you find out what stuff does good for you and what stuff does not do good for you, or even if you just learn how to hear sounds within this game, you'll be able to not only hide away from different closets and trash cans, but you will be able to evade them outright without having to use anything to help you out. Speaking of which, after you beat any trial, you'll be given some XP to level up, with doing so giving you some green tickets. These tickets can be exchanged for rigs, which are like some special rechargeable power-up. They give you an advantage in the field, like one can stun an enemy, one can lay down some friendly gas landmines, the other is an area effect healing ability, and I believe the last one is an X-ray ability, and all four of them you can upgrade. But all of these abilities are so fun to use. On top of that, you can also exchange tickets to purchase permanent upgrades for your character that get better the more you upgrade. You can also even find a vendor that smuggles items into each trial. All of these vendors really help you out, but you of course have to prove yourself to Murkoff even if you dare want to use them. I feel like these upgrades and vendors fit perfectly into the game. It adds major replayability value to the game, and it makes you and your character feel like you're actually learning each and every trial that you do. And that's the basics of the Outlast Trials. All in all, this game might become my favorite Outlast game, and believe you me, Outlast 1 holds an extremely special place in my heart. Not you, Outlast 2. Even though this game was still in early access, this content within it is plentiful, and more plentiful than I would even imagine. This game also feels fairly polished, with a few hit detection issues and clipping issues being the primary problem that I had for this game. And with that said, none of them were game-breaking by any means. But with that said, I'm extremely excited to see this game get a full release, and I'm hoping that Red Barrel just keeps adding on more and more to the Outlast Trials, as I genuinely believe that this game could stay relevant for many years. But other than that, I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you guys like this video, maybe hit that like button and subscribe, and other than that, I will see you all in a leather video. Wow, horrible speech. Bye for now.